Hey folks, it's Piano Man Steve, and welcome to yet another edition of my demo series here on the blog. This is fun. I was in the car running some errands, and I had it on. I don't really listen to the radio that often, to be honest with you. I tend to have songs that I'm really into, and I'll play that over and over and over on my iPod until I'm on to something else. So I don't really just tune in and listen to a mix very often, but for some reason today I felt compelled to turn the iPod off and just turn the car radio on. And it was sort of a mix, kind of light FM type station, adult contemporary. And they played a song that reminded me so much of my childhood. I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in 1977 and was in elementary school and whatnot basically through the 80s. And I remember my sister and I would listen all 4 hours every Sunday afternoon and evening to American Top 40 with Casey Kasem, who of course we just recently lost. And so I remember hearing music by this particular artist a lot on American Top 40 and just really loving it as a child. And this was my most favoritist, craziest, through the roof song that he did. This is Lionel Richie, and it's Hello. And when I heard it, first of all, I got this wonderful surge of, that nostalgia that you get when you kind of relive a moment from your past, even if it's just for a split second. So I got that, and then I went, oh my gosh, this would be just a perfect example, of how to apply my ballad rhythm pattern number 1 with the blues scale and a few arpeggios in there. So I'm going to use maybe some cascading arpeggios for licks. I'm going to use the blues scale for licks. I'm doing this in the key of A, by the way, and the A blues scale is the C swing scale, and I'm really, really well versed, but it's in A minor. And for the record, I am detuning this 1/2 step. I can sing it in A. I'm more comfortable singing it in A flat or G sharp. But my God, who on earth wants to play an A flat minor? I know I don't, and I can't imagine that you do either. So I'm going to go ahead and play it in A, but I'm detuning this thing by 1/2 step. So sue me. Anyway, and so we're going to go through here. We're going to use ballad rhythm pattern number 1. The chords are simply an A minor with an added 9. And then this is a G6. F major 7. Let's see, where does it go? Then you've got to have an A major chord, then D minor, G7, C major. We've already got F in there. You've got a B flat, and then an E7. That should cover it. So those chords, ballad rhythm pattern number 1, and then I'm going to play a solo that I'm going to use the blues scale for, and then as far as licks and fills, I might throw in a cascading arpeggio, and I'll probably, if I need to, just create a fill from the chord that I'm on, which is one of my techniques that I teach in the improvisation module. So let's turn those things, those chords, that rhythm pattern, and those lick, fill, and improv ideas that are taught in the members area into this very, very famous, very big hit, awesome, beautiful song, Hello by Lionel Richie. Sometimes Okay, so how did we do this? Well, as I said, took ballad rhythm pattern number 1, which is, and we applied it to a minor chord with an added 9, meaning, so in an A minor chord, which actually this is an A flat minor chord, but I'm playing it as an A minor chord. A, B, which is the 2 or the added 9, C, which is the minor 3, and the E, which is a 5. So just, and of course, ballad rhythm pattern is you play whatever part of the chord with the top half of your hand and toggle back and forth to the thumb. So it's A minor, then a G6, which basically is a G chord with an E in it. 7 chord. Then when we finally get to the chorus, we go, alone is me. Now we're to a major chord. Then D minor 7, G7, back to F major 7, B flat major to an E7. That's a fun transition right there because it's a tritone chord jump. So we're in B flat, and it's kind of cool because the 3 of your B flat chord, which is a D, becomes the dominant 7 of your new chord, which is an E. That's fun because that's the thing that kind of makes it possible to make that shift. It's what the 2 chords have in common. So you can hear this in there. Then it's just A, G over a B bass, C, and then an A7 chord over the 3, which is a C sharp. So all through the song, we're just doing this over whatever chord. And then on occasion, if you wanted to, you could throw in a little cascading arpeggio like this. Just for a little atmosphere. Wouldn't have to, but it kind of gives it that fluttery sound because there's that really thing going on in the it's some weird synthesizer thing, but beautiful. And then when we get to the solo, it's just basically the same amount of time that it takes to go through a verse. And like I say, the A blues scale is perfect. This is bluesy. This is not a swing scale thing, except the A blues scale is relative to the C swing scale, and I'm very familiar with the C swing scale, which is, you play that same configuration of notes, but you start on an A, you get. Okay, so you just make up a solo out of the A blues scale, just rhythmically moving around. It can be simple. This is just single note solo. We make it all about rhythm. You know, I'm not playing any chords. And then when you get a little bit more advanced, you can play 2-note, 3-note chords and make that a part of it. Whatever you want to do, but just playing around inside the A blues scale and you're right back to it. So this song is a wonderful example of how the stuff that we're learning in the members portal is in fact the building blocks of playing this kind of music. It just is. You don't need anything more. You really, every single thing that I did in here, there's not even a signature line really in this song. And it's all just basically done by the components that we talked about. Ballad rhythm pattern number 1, the appropriate chords, and just the blues scale. And if you want to do some other kinds of licks and fills, you can do a smattering of other kinds of techniques that we teach too, but you really don't need them. So at the end, I do believe I did one of my ballad licks where I just, you know, I taught it in ballad licks as a major thing that you do, but I just arpeggiated up the minor chord. You know, not a big deal. Really, really cool stuff. And again, like I say, this is the same thing if you are going to be playing the melody instead of singing. What you're doing is you're playing that, you keep the left hand going with its dum, 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 to keep the pace. You play the melody, and whenever there's a break, whenever you can get back to it, you just, on the appropriate chord, you just go back to that rhythm pattern. Right. So you're playing the melody. Back to the rhythm pattern. Back to the rhythm pattern. Back to the rhythm pattern. So it's like hello, rhythm pattern. Back to melody. So see, it's just, we are learning the things that we need to know to do this. You just have to start imagining, when you hear a song, you have to imagine what rhythm pattern is going to fit this song. And then you got to learn what the chords are. And you got to plug those chords in. And then you just have to use all the different kinds of fill and lick and improv techniques that we keep learning in there. And just pick the ones that are right. Like I say, the easiest one usually is to just use the chord that you're on and do some kind of flutter to make a fill out of it. So that's always available to you, and it's very, very simple. It's the minimal amount of work. But then you can use your blues scales, your swing scales, and cascading arpeggios, and the different licks, and all kinds of great stuff. So it's really exciting to me to be able to break this down and show you how this becomes music. So thanks for tuning in. I will be back with more demonstrations here in the near future, I am sure. But this one, I had such a good time hearing it when I was out running my errands. I was like, I have to do a video about that today, right now, while it's on my mind, because it's such a great piece of nostalgia for me. So anyway, Thank you, and remember to always enjoy it, because if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for tuning in.